We start with breaking news. After nearly 50 years in Columbia, the family that owns the Joe Mockins dealerships announced it's selling most of its company. KOMU 8's Alex Farkas is live at a dealership on West Worley Street with more on today's big announcement. Alex? Game 1 of the World Series last night had some late game, early morning thrills, and the Royals got to walk away with that victory. Good afternoon, I'm James Packard. The victors of our Kansas City coverage, Jim Reek and Chris Trevino, were live all day yesterday. They're back at it again today with how the Royals got away with a win yesterday and the key to getting a 2-game lead in this series, guys. And I think we're taking a live look of some helicopter footage right now. We're learning protesters in Ferguson have stopped traffic on both directions on I-70 at Blanchette Bridge. This is a live picture now of the protest, which is one of a number of events that began this weekend to mark the anniversary of Michael Brown's death. As a result of the state of emergency, St. Louis County Police Chief John Belmar now has full control over police emergency management in Ferguson. All right, Tim, thanks. We are getting some more details out of Ferguson this morning. The Associated Press is now reporting that a man named Tyrone Harris told the St. Louis Post-Dispatch that his son, 18-year-old Tyrone Harris Jr., is the man in critical and unstable condition.
Police officer.
And it is important to note that although they were in plain clothes, St. Louis Police Chief John Belmar said that the officers were wearing vests that said police on them. So in some form they were identified. Tarp up over the northeast corner of the building that was damaged by that fire, and Broadway was shut down in both directions for a majority of the morning and afternoon, but as you can see, it's back to a full flow this evening. Those flames, though, did create a scare for a lot of people in this area. Well, what you can't see because of that tarp is that firefighters did end up removing a large part of the brick facade of the hospital to get better access to a hot spot of the fire. Now, right now, they tell us they are still trying to determine a cause of fire, and in fact, just a couple of moments ago, we saw a couple of men up on the roof examining that area of the hospital's facade. Now, Boone Hospital Center did not want to talk to us on camera, but they did release this statement, quote, "We appreciate the rapid response and actions taken by our hospital staff, the Columbia Fire Department, the Columbia Police Department, and other local emergency responders," and they also described the situation as, quote, "minor." Reporting live in Columbia, James Packard, KOMU 8 News. A flyaway U.S. military blimp caused thousands of power outages in Pennsylvania this afternoon. A student at a nearby school caught the blimp floating away on video. The blimp dragged its tether line, which hit power lines and caused about 18,000 power outages. It's not clear what caused that blimp to break free. A NASA astronaut took his first spacewalk today, and on Thursday, he'll break a record for space exploration. Scott Kelly performed a maintenance check on the International Space Station. On Thursday at midnight, Kelly will break the American record for longest time in space. The current record is 215 days. President Obama has already sent out his congratulations to Scott Kelly. In your world news, an 8-year-long manhunt finally ended today for a father and son in Australia. The two have been fugitives and were on Australia's most wanted list. They were first arrested 8 years ago in connection to multiple crimes across 3 Australian states. The two were found after a fight with police resulted in a gunfight. They were both taken to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. A Hong Kong businessman is safe after being held captive for over a month. Wong Quan was first reported missing on September 20th when he went to Taiwan to visit relatives. He was finally found today in a deserted karaoke bar, and he's now being treated at a local hospital. 12 people have been arrested in connection with his kidnapping. The kidnappers had ransomed the man for $9 million. Halloween and a time change all in one weekend is a lot.
An extra hour of Halloween, though.
That is a good point.
If there's one day, why not Halloween?
I like how you think, Kenton. Very nice. Thanks. Coming up, keeping you healthy during flu season. Find out if you're eligible for a free flu shot this year.
This morning, it definitely feels cooler than it should be.
Well, we opened the door.
We did. There's a nice cool breeze coming into the studio.
Yeah, it feels really good.
James is okay now. He was sweating earlier, and
I'll be okay. I'm not even the pregnant one.
You're not. Thankfully, it's just me at this desk. We'd have a much bigger story if it were one of you two.
Certainly would. Okay, we're getting something from our bear tracker.
Oh, you stop.
Just a few hours ago in Fulton, police found a small black bear in downtown. KOMU 8's Andrea Stahl has learned the bear is still on the loose this morning. She joins us from Fulton with the latest. Hi, Andrea.
Turn your clock back an hour before you go to bed on Halloween night, an extra hour of Halloween, and then we're dry and warm as we get into the beginning of next week.
Much to the dismay of parents who want to say, stop eating candy, it's time to go to bed.
Right, but kids are like, I have an extra hour.
I can keep eating. We'll see you at 6 o'clock. Nightly news.